All right, listen to everything I said in this video. Watch this video from the beginning to the end. I have a mentorship program. Number one, you need to email to see if you're a good fit. Now, please don't email with me if you just want to have a conversation with me or you want me to be your LinkedIn friend. I'm not doing that. This is about pure mentorship to drive your economy, your economics to the next level. If you're interested in that, email me. If not, please have a good day. Also, below is the Kingdom program. Get on the payment plan because Sunday, January 11th at 3:30 p.m., we have our first webinar. You want to be there. We're going to get deep. And then we're going to have a webinar January 11th. And then pretty much every Sunday, we're going to have a webinar. And there's going to be a ton of information and some information that is going to be in this video. So one of the things that you need to be looking at is we're going to get into multiple income engines. Multiple income engines. So currently, I have YouTube as one engine, online courses is 2, mentorship is 3, and whatnot, number 1 is 4. And then in the next 2 months, we're going to add 4 more. And this becomes extremely powerful because I've got 8 economic engines, and let's kind of talk about the money. Now, I've already made $250,000 a month with online courses, so I know what that can do. But let's kind of go ahead and we'll just kind of keep it perspective. So let's go 1 YouTube, not a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money from YouTube. 2 online courses can be a lot of money, but I'm going to keep that 100 to about 150. I'm not going to put a ton of effort into that. And then mentorship, let's say, put that at 100K. Then whatnot. Now this is where the scaling begins. All right, so I'm doing sterling silver on whatnot. Now, 2 full-time hosts, 2 part-time. Now, why do I have 2? Because we'll be doing whatnot and we'll be doing TikTok. So that's going to be an engine. And that economic engine, I believe, once it's fully optimized, can be to $350,000 per month in profit, which means we'll be making millions to get to $350,000. And then we'll move to vintage. That's going to be same thing, 2 full, 2 part. We can get to, I would say, 150 with that engine. And then we'll get to 6. That would be storage auctions. I think the storage auctions are going to be the biggest engine. Storage auctions, we can get to 950,000 per month, which means we'll be making 3 or 4 million gross revenue, maybe even more. Then 7, residential furniture. I would put that at 250 to 300,000. Okay, so let's kind of add up the engines loosely defined. Let's see. First engine, YouTube, a couple $100. We'll put 1,500 there. That's the first engine. The second engine, online courses, we'll do 150. And then we'll do mentorship, which may or may not be around, this depends. Then we'll do 100 on mentorship. And then we do 350 on the staffed engine. Then we do another 150. Let's see. Okay. Then we do plus another 150 plus 950. All right, so all those engines together, oh, residential furniture, we'll do 300,000. That equals like 1.6, almost 1.7 million per month. Now, the key is you got to manage this engine. You got to manage these multiple engines because literally I would be running 7, 8 different businesses, but they will come to congruent. Now, how am I going to put this together? Number one, I'm going to hire some drill sergeants, actual service members who used to be drill sergeants in the United States Army, Marine Corps. I'm going to hire them, and these are going to be my manager types. Because essentially, like with the whatnot thing, today I was gone all day, and my employee was working the whatnot thing. And as we go forward with this, I'm hiring competent adults, and I will leave and let them do what they need to do. So this is how the whole business is going to be built. It's going to be built upon people having the free for all to actually go out and do the work without me being overhands, cracking the whip. And I'm gonna build all the engines the same way. I'm gonna have internal staff handle stuff because tomorrow my third employee comes in, and my first employee and my third employee are gonna be working Monday through Friday, first shift, second shift. And my first employee, I leave her. I can leave her. And the second employee, once she gets trained, I'm gonna leave her. And these people will be operating independently. And my third employee will work the weekends, and then we're gonna start working on TikTok. So once we get all this together, multiple economic engines, let me see, make sure I title this. Multiple income engines. I need to make sure I title this correctly. So we'll be at $1.6 million in profit per month. Now, I'm gonna put myself on salary of about $150,000. This is very, very different. $150,000, like my rent here is $3,000. I don't have a car payment, I don't have any bills. So that's plenty of money for me to live my life and do stuff. Now, the rest of the money I would take out the company as a distribution. And the biggest distribution that's going to come is going to come 17 months in the future. I'm going to take out about $3-4 million to buy a house. So that's going to be the biggest distribution. And then the rest of the money stays in the company, goes up to the holding company, and the holding company divvies this money up amongst other companies. I'm going to set up a real estate company, another holding company over here in the real estate company that will be owned by this first holding company. And then we will go ahead and put the money in the bank until we get to 6 million, then boom, we buy our first apartment. Every time we get 6 million in the bank, we buy an apartment complex. And this will, at 1.6 million times 12. All right, so we will be at about 20 million a year, which means I can buy 3 apartment complexes per year. So this is huge for me because this creates generational wealth. Because once I get those apartment complexes, let's just go ahead and do something real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and say we take $6 million to get $100,000 to $150,000, 100 to 150,000 unit apartment complex. We put 6% down, and then we borrow the rest. Give me your expectations of what that type of level of apartment complex would cost, and with the financing, and then let's say average monthly rent was $1,500, and then calculate the profit that will happen after servicing debt and running the apartment complex. Give me the raw numbers per month of how much money I would be able to pull out to live on and how much money I would make annually?
Absolutely. Let's break this down in a structured manner. Step 1, establish the purchase and financing details. Property size, 100 to 150 units. Let's assume 125 for the midpoint. Total cost, $6,000. Down payment, 6% of $6,000, $360,000. Loan amount, $6,000, $360,000 is $560,000 financed. Step 2, estimate financing costs.
Wait a minute. Let's do this again. So you're saying 100 to 150 unit apartment complex cost around $6 million. Is that true? Okay. Are you saying that 100 to 150 unit apartment complex cost about $6 million? What would be the expected cost of such a unit?
Certainly. Let's be precise about the typical cost range for an apartment complex of that size. In reality, the cost of a 100 to 150 unit apartment complex can vary significantly based on several factors: location, age of the property, condition, local real estate market, and amenities. General cost range as of recent market conditions. In lower cost regions or older buildings, you might see costs in the range of $50,000 to $100,000 per unit. That would put a 100 unit complex at about 5 to 10 million. In higher cost urban areas or newer amenity rich properties, costs can easily reach $150,000 to $200,000 or more per unit, pushing a 100 unit complex into the $15 to $20 million range. Typical scenario for a mid-tier market, not a major coastal city, but not a low-cost rural area, a $6 million valuation for 100 to 150 units is plausible. This would assume per unit costs roughly in the $50,000 to $60,000 range, which might fit a secondary market or a somewhat older property. In other words, a $6 million budget for a 100 to 150 unit complex is on the lower to mid-range side of the spectrum. If you're in a major metro area, you'd likely see higher prices. In a more affordable market, that figure is quite reasonable. If you need further financial modeling on a different scenario, just let me know.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take 150 unit apartment complex. We put down 6 million. Let's say the apartment complex costs 12 million. And we have 150 units. We rent the units out at $1,500 per month. What would be the cost of servicing the debt, running the apartment, and then also give me what's left over on a per month basis and give me what's left over on per annual basis?
Understood. Let's break this down step by step with the new parameters. Step 1, setting up the scenario. Total property cost, $12 million. Down payment, $6 million, which is 50% down in this case. So loan amount, $12 million minus $6 million equals $6 million financed. Step 2, estimate financing costs. We need to assume an interest rate and loan term. Let's say interest rate, approximately 5.5% annual interest, a reasonable estimate for a commercial real estate loan, though it can vary. Loan term, 30 years, typical for a commercial mortgage. Using a standard amortization formula, the monthly payment on a $6 million loan at 5.5% over 30 years is roughly about $34,000 per month. Calculate gross income, number of units, 150. Monthly rent per unit, $1,500. Total monthly rental income is 150 units times $1,500, which is $225,000 per month. Estimate operating expenses. Operating expenses typically range from 30% to 50% of gross rental income. Let's use 40% as a conservative estimate. So 40% of $225,000 is $90,000 per month in operating expenses. This includes maintenance, property management, insurance, property taxes, and utilities. Step 5, calculate net operating income, NOI. The NOI is gross income minus operating expenses. Gross monthly income, $225,000. Operating expenses, $90,000. Monthly NOI, $225,000 minus $90,000 equals $135,000. Subtract debt service. Now we subtract the monthly mortgage payment from the NOI. Monthly mortgage payment, approximately $34,000. Monthly NOI, $135,000. Cash flow after debt service is $135,000 minus $34,000, which equals $101,000 per month. Annualize the cash flow. To find the annual cash flow, multiply the monthly cash flow by 12. Monthly cash flow, $101,000. Annual cash flow, $101,000 times 12 is $1,212,000 per year. Conclusion? In summary, with a $12 million property, $6 million down, and $6 million financed at about 5.5% over 30 years, renting 150 units at $1,500 each, you would clear roughly $101,000 in monthly cash flow after expenses and debt service, which translates to about $1.2 million annually, If you need any further refinements, just let me know.
Okay, so three apartment complexes in 1 year will yield $300,000 per month, or $3.6 million per year in free cash flow after paying for the apartments, after servicing debt. And then I have this other economic engine over here, because the apartment complex is the long-term situation. Because let's say I did that for 5 years, I would come out with 15, 16 different apartment complexes, and we would get into 15. We'll be at 1.5 million a month after servicing debt, after running the apartment, after paying taxes. 1.5 million a month in free cash flow. And then because it's an apartment complex, there's depreciation. So a lot of that income will be sheltered due to depreciation. And this is the power of going ahead and putting together multiple income engines. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you guys. You can watch me do this. And that's all I got for you guys right now. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday for the webinar.